The bank statement trembles in my hand like a living thing. I can't tear my eyes from the numbers that blur and swim before me. $5. Just $5 each month for the past 2 years. My pulse hammers in my ears as I stand frozen in my parents' living room. The familiar scent of my mother's cinnamon potpourri, suddenly cloying and suffocating. We have proof now. You've been lying to us. My mother's voice slices through the silence, each word precise and cutting. I blink, trying to make sense of what I'm seeing. This can't be right. My father jabs his finger at the paper, the force of it making me flinch. We thought you were sending $1,500, but you've only been giving us pennies. In the corner of the room, Chloe leans against the wall, arms crossed over her designer blouse. Something flickers across her face, not quite guilt, not quite triumph. She examines her manicured nails, the diamond tennis bracelet, catching the light as she turns her wrist. I don't understand, I whisper, but a cold realization is already seeping into my bones. The memory of midnight shifts at the warehouse hits me with physical force. For 2 years, I've been working overnight at Meridian Food Distribution, managing inventory while the rest of the world sleeps. The fluorescent lights burning my eyes, the constant ache in my lower back, the protein bars I choke down during 10-minute breaks because there's no time for real meals. And weekends, God, the weekends driving for that delivery service I hate, smiling at strangers who never look me in the eye while I place their groceries on their porches. All to scrape together that $1,500 each month. I've been sending the money. My voice shakes, but I force the words out. Every month, for years. My mother scoffs. The sound so familiar it makes my chest ache. The same dismissive noise she made when I got that scholarship in high school, the one that wasn't quite enough, that still left me needing loans and 3 part-time jobs to make it through college. Don't lie to us, we can see the transactions. She gestures to the statement like it's irrefutable evidence of my betrayal. I was 12 when they converted my bedroom into Chloe's creative space. She needed room for her dance equipment, they explained. The couch became my bed for the next 6 years. My homework spread across the coffee table each night, gathered up before anyone else woke. You owe us $30,000 in back payments, my father announces, arms folded across his chest. The same posture he took when I asked for help with college tuition. We need to save for Chloe's future, he'd said. She has real potential. I look to Chloe now, seeking what? Shock? Confusion. But she glances away, suddenly fascinated by something outside the window. And that's when I know. It was her idea, 2 years ago. Let's each send them $1,500 per month to show appreciation, she'd suggested over brunch. They've done so much for us. Her eyes wide, sincere. I'd nodded, squeezed my budget tighter, picked up that second job. And every month since, I've transferred the money to the account she provided. It's easier this way, she'd insisted. I'll make sure they get it. Something hardens inside me, like concrete setting. Show me Chloe's transfers, I say, my voice steadier than I feel. My parents exchange a look I can't quite read. Chloe's been supporting us more than enough, my mother says, her tone shifting to the soft, protective one she reserves exclusively for my sister. I straighten my shoulders, feeling something unfamiliar, the shape of my spine, when it's not bent under the weight of everyone else's expectations. Show me her transfers, right now. Rachel, my father warns, but I'm already reaching for my phone. I need to check something, I say, pulling up my banking app. Chloe suddenly pushes off from the wall. I just remembered I need to make an important call, she announces, her voice too bright, too brittle. Work thing. Can't wait. She's out of the room before anyone can respond, her footsteps quick on the hardwood floor. I scroll through my transaction history, each $1,500 withdrawal a record of my sacrifice. 2 years of transfers to the account Chloe assured me would help our parents. 2 years of double shifts, and cancelled plans and declining invitations, because I couldn't afford to go out. 2 years of falling into bed, exhausted, only to wake up and do it all again. And now they're standing here telling me I've given them nothing. I look up from my phone, meeting first my father's gaze, then my mother's. They stare back, their expressions an identical blend of entitlement and accusation. I have proof, I say quietly, of every payment. My mother waves her hand dismissively. Just show us the account number you sent it to. I turn my phone screen toward them, displaying the long string of numbers. My father squints at it, then his face darkens. That's not our account. A wave of heat rushes up my neck and into my face, as the pieces lock together with sickening clarity. The realization spreads across my features, like a slow burn. Chloe's new car, the luxury vacations documented on her Instagram, the designer clothes, her perfectly decorated apartment. All appeared shortly after our agreement to support our parents. Outside I hear the rumble of Chloe's luxury SUV starting up, the one she bought last year. A great deal I couldn't pass up, she'd explained. With my money. What would you do if you discovered your family had been accusing you of financial neglect while someone else was stealing the money you sacrificed everything to provide? As the engine of Chloe's car fades into the distance, I already know my next move will shake the foundation of my family's comfortable existence. I burst through the front door, my heart hammering against my ribs as I scan the driveway. Chloe's SUV is still there, engine idling. She's hunched over the steering wheel, furiously typing on her phone. My legs carry me forward with a strength I didn't know I possessed. Chloe! I slap my palm against her driver's side window. The bank statements on my phone screen illuminate my face in the gathering dusk. She jumps, dropping her phone into her lap. For a moment, her eyes widen with genuine fear before she composes herself and rolls down the window a cautious few inches. Where's the money, Chloe? My voice doesn't sound like my own. Where's the $36,000 I've sent over the last 2 years? Her manicured fingers grip the steering wheel tight enough to blanch her knuckles. Rachel, you're being ridiculous. But her voice wavers, the confidence slipping. I shove my phone through the window gap. Look at these transfers, every month. $1,500 to the account number you gave me. I screw the transaction history. A digital record of my sacrifice, the same account number you said would help our parents. Something cracks in her perfect facade. Her shoulders slump, the designer sunglasses perched on her head sliding forward slightly. I needed it for my influencer career, she whispers, not meeting my eyes. The clothes, the trips though. You know how expensive it is to keep up appearances. Nobody follows someone who wears the same outfit twice. A laugh escapes me, too sharp and hollow to contain. You told them I wasn't sending anything? Chloe finally looks at me, and what I see in her eyes chills me more than her words. There's no remorse there, only calculation. They believe whatever I tell them, she says with a small shrug. They always have. The casual cruelty of it knocks the wind from my lungs. I step back, suddenly needing distance between us. You're my sister, I say, the words barely audible. Chloe revs the engine. And you're the sucker who's been paying my bills. She shifts into reverse. Good luck convincing them it wasn't your fault. I watch her luxury SUV. My luxury SUV. Really back down the driveway, before I turn toward the house. My parents are still inside, still waiting for their pound of flesh. For the first time in my life, I walk toward them, not with my shoulders hunched in anticipation of their disappointment, but with my spine straight and purpose in every step. The living room falls silent as I enter. My father sits in his recliner, arms crossed. My mother perches on the edge of the sofa, her face a mask of practiced concern. Where's Chloe going? She asks. I hold up my phone, my evidence displayed in neat, undeniable rows. I have proof of every $1,500 payment I sent to Chloe's account. I place the phone on the coffee table between us for 2 years, every month. They stare at the screen, at the numbers that can't be explained away. My father picks up the phone, squints at the transaction history. I just spoke to Chloe outside. I continue, my voice steadier than I feel. She admitted taking all of it. I wait for the explosion, the outrage on my behalf, the parental fury at such a betrayal. Instead, my mother's expression softens, her head tilting in that particular way she reserves exclusively for my sister. She's still young, she says with a sigh. She makes mistakes. My father places my phone back on the table, careful not to crack the screen that displays his golden child's crime. It's just money, he says with a dismissive wave. Why are you being so dramatic? The floor seems to tilt beneath me. Dramatic? She stole $36,000 from me. If you had just sent it to our account, my mother interjects, this wouldn't have happened. I stare at them, these strangers who raised me. Why would I send it to Chloe's account in the first place? My father's face flushes. Because of the social security benefits, of course. And there it is, the final piece of the puzzle, slotting into place with sickening clarity. You wanted the money hidden, I say slowly, the realization dawning. From the government. My mother waves her hand, the gesture eerily similar to Chloe's shrug in the car. Everyone does it. You had me unwittingly commit tax fraud. The words taste bitter on my tongue. My father stands, his height no longer intimidating me the way it once did. Either pay the $30,000 you owe us, or we'll disown you. The threat hangs in the air between us. And you can forget about Grandpa's inheritance, my mother adds. Her final card played. I walk out without another word, my phone clutched in my hand. On the driveway, I punch in a familiar number, my best friend's contact, lighting up the screen. My voice breaks as she answers. Jen, I need help. A text from my supervisor buzzes through. You okay? Noticed you've been exhausted from those extra shifts. As I climb into my car, Mrs. Perlman, my parents' elderly neighbor, catches my eye from her porch. She gives me a small, knowing nod. You've been carrying them for years, Rachel, she calls softly. I've watched it happen. The engine turns over, and I sit there, hands gripping the wheel where Chloe's had been minutes before. Through the windshield, I can see my parents framed in the living room window, already on their finesse no doubt spinning the story to relatives, casting me as the villain. For the first time, I don't care what story they tell. Their power over me evaporates with each second that passes, like morning dew under a strengthening sun. Family loyalty, or self-respect, which would you choose? I sit at the edge of a decision that will redefine my entire future. But my family has one more devastating card to play. I stare at my phone screen, the fifth voicemail from my mother in 3 days. Her voice wavers with practiced emotion. After all we've done for you, Rachel, how could you abandon your family like this? My thumb hovers over the delete button, but I save it instead. Evidence. That's what Marissa, my new therapist, suggested I collect. So far, I have 17 voice messages, 32 texts, and 6 missed calls from relatives I haven't spoken to in years. Dad has been busy. My phone buzzes with a notification. Chloe has posted on Instagram again. A soft focused selfie, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. The caption reads, "Sometimes the most toxic people are the ones you've given everything to." I screenshot it, add it to my growing digital folder labeled Family Response, and block her account. 3 days ago, I compiled every bank statement from the past 2 years. Each $1,500 payment highlighted in yellow, a timeline of my sacrifice. I spread them across my kitchen table, took photos from every angle. Then I forwarded everything to the financial advisor I met yesterday. In my professional opinion, he said, leaning forward in his leather chair, you've been manipulated into a tax evasion scheme. Your parents were receiving unreported income through your sister. I wasn't surprised, but hearing it spoken aloud made my stomach clench. What should I do? I asked. Document everything, distance yourself financially, and consider whether you want to consult a lawyer. He slid a business card across his desk. This woman specializes in financial abuse cases. The card sits on my countertop now, next to the brochure from last night's support group for adult children of manipulative parents. 6 strangers sitting in folding chairs, nodding as I spoke. Validation from people who understand without explanation. My phone rings. Unknown number. Rachel? It's Janet, your mother's friend. Her voice drips with concern. Your parents told me what's happening. They're devastated, honey. They just want to talk. I press my back against the kitchen counter, feeling the cool edge against my spine. Did they tell you Chloe stole $36,000 from me? A pause. Well, they said there was some confusion about the money, but… No confusion. Theft. My voice sounds strange in my ears, steady firm. And now they're demanding I pay them $30,000 more. Family is complicated, Rachel. But they're still your parents. I thank her for her concern, and end the call. Another name for my documentation list. 3 hours later, I pull into the restaurant parking lot. Neutral territory, I'd insisted. Not their house, where every room holds memories of my invisible childhood. My parents' silver sedan already waits in the corner spot, exactly where they always park far enough from other cars to avoid dawdings. Some habits never change. Chloe sits at the table with them, her golden hair swept into an elegant updo. They've positioned her between them, a united front. 3 menus untouched. They've waited for me. How considerate. Rachel. My father nods as I slide into the empty chair. We're glad you agreed to meet. My mother reaches across the table, stopping short of touching my hand when I don't extend it. We just want to work this out, sweetheart. I notice the manila folder beside my father's water glass. What's that? He clears his throat, straightens his tie's boardroom habit. We've been thinking about how to resolve this situation. My mother jumps in. We know you're upset about the misunderstanding with Chloe, but… It wasn't a misunderstanding, I interrupt. She stole from me, and you defended her. Chloe, at least, has the decency to study her napkin. My father slides the folder toward me. We've put together a payment plan. He flips it open, revealing a typed document with highlighted sections. For the $30,000 you still owe us, plus continuing the monthly $1,500 going forward. I stare at the paper. Neat columns detail a 5-year plan to extract money from me, after I've already given them 2 years of double shifts and missed opportunities. This seems fair, my mother adds when I remain silent. We're not asking for everything at once. How generous. Behind them, a waiter delivers food to another table. The scent of garlic and butter wafts over. My stomach growls I forgot to eat lunch again. A habit, from all those months of cutting expenses to afford the payments. I place my fingertips on the edge of the document and slowly slide it back across the table. The paper makes a soft whisper against the tablecloth. No. The word hangs between us, simple and complete. My father blinks. What do you mean no? I mean no. I push my chair back and stand, looking down at them for the first time I can remember. I'm not paying you anything. Rachel Elizabeth Parker. My father's voice drops an octave, the tone he used when I was a child, and dared to disobey. Do you understand what you're doing? I tuck my purse strap over my shoulder. Perfectly. My mother's eyes widen, her hand flying to her throat, fingers grasping for the pearl necklace she always touches when upset. After everything we've done for you? The sacrifices we've made? What sacrifices, Mum? Name one. The silence stretches between us. I've supported you for years, I continue, my voice steady. I worked 2 jobs while Chloe spent my money on designer clothes and luxury vacations. Chloe's head snaps up. That's not fair. I needed nothing. I cut her off. You needed nothing from me. You took everything. My father's face darkens. Your grandfather would be ashamed of you right now. The words are meant to cut deep, to slice into the one familial relationship I cherished. Instead, they clarify everything. Grandpa taught me to stand up for myself. I feel my lips curve into a small smile. This is me doing exactly that. I turn and walk toward the exit, each step lighter than the last. Behind me, chairs scrape against tile. Voices rise in protest, but I don't look back. The evening air hits my face as the restaurant door swings closed behind me. In the parking lot, I slide into my car and sit motionless for a moment. My hands should be shaking. My heart should be racing. Instead, I take a deep breath that fills my lungs completely, the first one in years that doesn't feel like I'm drowning. I pull out my phone and open the family group chat. Years of messages asking when I'll visit, when I'll send money, when I'll help with Chloe's new business venture. I delete the chat, then silence notifications from their individual numbers. The engine purrs to life. As I pull out of the parking lot, I catch my reflection in the rearview mirror. Something has changed in my face. The tension around my eyes has softened, my jaw no longer clenched. And there, it is, a smile that starts small, then spreads until I barely recognize myself. I drive away from the restaurant, from the weight of expectations I've carried for decades. When you've been someone's ATM for years, what happens when you finally cancel their access? My family is about to find out exactly what life looks like without my financial support. But are they truly ready to face the consequences of their actions? I'm not sure I care anymore. The security guard's walkie-talkie crackles as he walks beside me through the Meridian warehouse. His presence a solid, reassuring barrier wasn't my idea, but Javier's. My supervisor noticed my pale face when I mentioned my parents might stop by. Your folks don't just stop by places, Rachel, he had said, dark eyes knowing. Not after what you told me. Now, the guard's boots echo against the concrete floor as we round a corner, and I see them, my mother's spine ramrod straight, my father's arms crossed, both stationed by the reception desk like sentries. That's them, I murmur. The receptionist catches my eye, relief washing over her face. They've been here 20 minutes, she mouths silently. My mother spots me first. Rachel, finally, we've been waiting forever. This is a place of business, I say, my voice steadier than I expected. Not somewhere you can just show up. We wouldn't have to if you'd answer your phone. My father's voice booms, drawing stares from passing co-workers. The security guard steps forward. Sir, I need you to lower your voice. Who's this? My father's eyebrows shoot up. You need protection from your own parents now? Mr. and Mrs. Parker, the guard says. Your daughter has requested that any family discussions happen off company property. I can escort you to the visitor parking lot. My mother's face contorts. We raised you better than this. I have a meeting in 5 minutes. The lie slides easily from my lips. And this isn't appropriate. Nothing about your behavior is appropriate, my father hisses. Our lawyer will be contacting you about the money you owe us. The word lawyer sends a cold shiver through me, but I keep my expression neutral. 3 weeks ago, it would have worked. The mere suggestion of legal action would have sent me scrambling to fix things, to smooth everything over. But that was before I knew the truth. I'll look forward to his call, I say, then nod to the guard. Please escort my parents out. I turn and walk away, the weight of their stares burning between my shoulder blades. The lawyer's letter sits on my kitchen counter, its official letterhead gleaming under the fluorescent light. I've read it 7 times, each paragraph more ridiculous than the last. The phrases jump out at me. Emotional distress, elder financial abuse, oral contract, and the most absurd, $30,000 in compensatory damages. My phone buzzes. Another relative, this time my mother's cousin in Phoenix. I answer with the same script I've used all week. This is between my parents and me. I appreciate your concern, but please respect that boundary. Her response is predictable. Family doesn't set boundaries, Rachel. Family helps each other. Goodbye, Aunt Linda. I hang up before she can continue. My laptop screen flickers with a notification. Chloe has posted again. Despite my better judgment, I click. Her face fills the screen, carefully crafted tears glistening. Behind her, I can see the luxury apartment I helped pay for. When someone you've supported your whole life just abandons you. Her voice breaks perfectly on cue. The betrayal is unbearable. I slam the laptop shut and reach for my phone, navigating to her profile. My thumb hovers over the block button for just a second before pressing down firmly. Done. The text arrives during my lunch break. Mortgage payment due notice. Your father says it's your fault. It's from a number I don't recognize, but the message is clear. They're escalating. Beside me, Annika pushes half her sandwich toward me. Eat, she orders. You've lost weight. I'm fine, I say automatically. Liar. She nudges the sandwich closer. Mark has started a rotation schedule, by the way. Someone from our team will walk with you to your car every night until this blows over. The knot in my throat threatens to choke me. You guys don't have to. We want to. She cuts me off. Nobody messes with our ops manager. My phone buzzes again. A text from an unknown number. Chloe's card got declined at Nordstrom. Full meltdown in the store. Video all over Twitter. Is this what you wanted? What's that look? Annika asks. Nothing, I say, but can't help the small smile forming. Just consequences finally happening. My therapist's office smells like lavender and old books. Dr. Mehta watches me over her glasses as I pace. My father called yesterday. Just kept repeating temporary financial assistance, like it was a magic spell that would make me forget everything. And how did you respond? Her voice is calm, neutral. I told him I could recommend a financial advisor. The memory brings a surprising rush of pride. Then my mother called an hour later saying she wants to fix our relationship. Dr. Mehta nods. And how do you feel about that? Like it's the first time she's acknowledged we have a relationship beyond my bank account. I stop pacing, sinking into the chair across from her. But it's too late. They're only reaching out because they need something. You're making extraordinary progress, Rachel. She leans forward slightly. Setting boundaries with family is one of the hardest things we can do. It doesn't feel like progress. It feels like, I search for the word, selfishness. Is it selfish for a person who's been underwater to finally come up for air? I consider this, thinking of the dinner I have planned tonight. My first date in over a year, with someone who asked 0 questions when I mentioned difficult family dynamics. Just nodded and said, I get it. My boundaries are important to me too. My co-workers set up a buffer zone at work, I tell her. And my friend Maya offered her spare room if things get too intense. You've created a support network of people who respect you, Dr. Mehta says. That's not selfishness, that's self-preservation. In the grocery store, I freeze mid-aisle. 2 aisles over, my parents' voices carry arguing about money. If you hadn't spent the Crestview funds on Chloe's ridiculous business expenses. My mother's voice rises. Don't start with me, Linda. This is your fault for letting her get away with. I abandon my cart, slipping out the side entrance, heart hammering. In my car, I catch sight of myself in the rearview mirror and realize I'm not panicking. I'm calm. Almost. Relieved. My phone pings with a message from a blocked number that somehow got through. I've always seen how they treated you. This is Aunt Sarah. If you need someone who understands, I'm here. When the bank of Rachel closes forever, her family faces a reality they never prepared for. But as they struggle, I'm thriving in ways I never imagined possible. The weight on my shoulders lessens with each passing day, each enforced boundary, each moment I choose myself. And for the first time in my adult life, I can finally breathe. The email from HR sits open on my screen. The words promotion and 15% increase, pulsing with possibility. My finger hovers over the accept button, a strange hesitation gripping me. Not because I don't want it, God, I've earned it, but because for the first time, I don't have to calculate how much of this raise my family will consume. I press accept, and a rush of vertigo sweeps through me. My money will be my money. You deserve this, says Melanie, my cubicle neighbor who's become more than just a work friend these past months. Seriously, Rachel, nobody works harder. I nod, still staring at the confirmation message. It doesn't feel real. Which part? The promotion, or keeping your own paycheck? My laugh catches me by surprise, sharp and genuine. Both. My new apartment smells of fresh paint and possibility. Sunlight streams through windows twice the size of my old place, illuminating the hardwood floors I couldn't stop admiring when I signed the lease. The realtor had looked concerned when I kept running my hands over the smooth surface, but she couldn't understand what it meant, space that belonged only to me. I set down a box marked kitchen and pull out my phone. 3 missed calls from my mother. 1 from Chloe. A text from a number I don't recognize that starts with, "Your parents are having a really hard time." I delete them all without reading further, and instead open my therapy group chat. 7 other people who understand exactly what it means to break free from family financial exploitation. I type. Moving day. It feels like breathing for the first time. Responses flood in immediately, not with demands or guilt, but with celebration. With understanding. I'm hanging curtains when my phone buzzes with neighborhood alerts. A house for rent 3 streets over from my parents. The price tells the story their pride won't let them admit they've had to downsize. Dramatically. December brings string lights in my windows and a tiny tree on my coffee table. My first Christmas alone should feel hollow, but instead, it's peaceful. No performance of gratitude required. No calculated giving, based on who might give more back. My therapy journal sits open beside me, the total at the bottom of the page still shocking. $103,742. The amount I've given my family over the years, tracked through bank statements and careful reconstruction. Seeing it in black and white had made me physically ill during group therapy last week. You built your life around supporting them, my therapist had said. Now you get to build it around supporting yourself. The truth of those words settles into my bones as I sip hot chocolate and watch snow dust the railings of my balcony I would never have allowed myself before. My phone lights up with an Instagram notification. Chloe's account, once filled with luxury vacations and designer clothes, now showcases budget-friendly finds and minimalist aesthetics. Her follower count has dropped by thousands. Without my money funding her influencer lifestyle, the carefully curated fantasy has crumbled. I scroll through comments from confused followers. What happened to your Range Rover? No winter vacation this year? The lie she's living is unraveling thread by thread. The hospital parking lot is crowded when I pull in. My father's text had been deliberately vague. Your mother's in the hospital, she's asking for you. No details about what happened, just the urgent demand for my presence. Inside, I find my mother sitting up in bed, looking pale, but hardly at death's door. My father paces beside her, his expression darkening when he sees me. Finally, he snaps. We've been waiting for hours. I glance at my watch. I came directly from work. What happened? My mother's hand flutters to her chest. My heart. The doctor says it's induced, from everything we've been going through. The guilt rises, automatic as breathing, but I push it back down. What did they diagnose specifically? My father jumps in. Does it matter? Your mother is suffering, Rachel. We're drowning in medical bills on top of everything else. And there, it is the real emergency. Not her health, but their wallet. I spoke with her doctor in the hall. Comes a voice behind me. Chloe steps into the room, designer sunglasses pushed up on her perfectly styled hair. It was a panic attack, not a heart attack. She's being discharged in an hour. Our eyes meet, and for a fleeting moment, I see something like respect flicker across her face-ish. Knows exactly what this is too. We still need help, my mother insists, her voice taking on the trembling quality she's perfected over the years. We're really suffering, Rachel. Chloe steps closer, lowering her voice. They are struggling. Dad had to take that retail job, and you know how he feels about that. She touches my arm. If anything happens to them because they can't afford their medication or something, it's on you. I look at her manicured hand on my sleeve. At the same bracelet she wore the day I discovered her theft. She's still wearing my sacrifice on her wrist. I can recommend a great financial counselor, I say, my voice steady. The one who helped me figure out how to recover from supporting all of you for years. My mother's face hardens. That's your response? Paperwork? You have the money. Chloe erupts, mask slipping. Why won't you help them? I meet her gaze directly. The same reason you spend $36,000 of my money on yourself. The silence that follows feels cleansing. I wish you all the best, I say, picking up my purse. I really do. I walk out of the hospital room, my steps lighter than when I entered. Behind me, I hear Chloe call my name once, but the sound fades as the door swings shut. Outside, snow has begun to fall, transforming the parking lot into something new and clean. I tilt my face up to feel the cold flakes against my skin, each one a tiny reminder that the weight I've carried for years is no longer mine to bear. What happens when the golden child, and parents who always took, suddenly have to stand on their own? As I build my best life, my family faces the consequences of years of exploitation. But is this truly the end of their story, or is there one last twist ahead? The corner office catches the afternoon light, turning everything golden. I trace my finger along the edge of my new desk reel cherry wood. Not the particle board I'd convinced myself was good enough for years. Family photos line the credenza, but not the faces most would expect. Kendra from accounting with her arm slung over my shoulder at the company retreat. Marcus and his husband at their wedding, where I gave a toast that made everyone cry. My hiking group at Summit, faces flushed with accomplishment. Not a single blood relative among them. My chosen family. Rachel? My assistant pokes her head in. Your 3 o'clock cancelled, so you're free until tomorrow's budget meeting. I smile genuinely. Thanks, Ava. An early weekend. 1 year ago, this would have meant picking up an extra shift at the warehouse, or logging more delivery hours. Now, it means Alex and I can make our dinner reservation at that new bistro, maybe catch a movie after. He texted earlier, can't wait to see you tonight. Proud of everything you've accomplished this year. I run my thumb over my phone screen, still not quite believing someone can love me for who I am rather than what I provide. Dr. Meyer's words from our final therapy session last week echo in my mind. You've done the work, Rachel. You've reclaimed your worth outside of what you give to others. The support group meets tomorrow people with stories like mine, who found themselves emptied by family that treated them like ATMs. Now I mentor the newcomers, watching understanding dawn in their eyes when I say, your worth isn't measured by how much you give them. My journal sits open on my desk, today's entry beside one from exactly a year ago. The contrast is startling. Then, exhausted. Second job today. Mom called again about money, can't sleep. Now, realized today I hadn't thought about them in weeks. Breathed easier when I noticed that. Yesterday, Diane from marketing hovered in my doorway, twisting her wedding ring. My brothers expect me to bail them out again, she whispered. 5th time this year. I didn't offer money. Instead, I shared my therapist's contact information, a financial literacy workshop flyer, and the name of the boundary setting book that became my Bible. You can love them without bankrupting yourself, I told her. The words I wish someone had said to me years earlier. The letter from Chloe arrived 3 months ago. Working retail now, she wrote, finding herself. Parents downsized to a condo, adjusting to a simpler lifestyle. No apologies, just information, and a barely disguised hint about reconnecting. I never replied. The absence of guilt surprised me most. The crushing weight I'd carried for so long, suddenly gone. My phone buzzes. Mother. After a year of declining her calls, the sight of her name no longer accelerates my pulse. I tap decline without hesitation, sending a text instead. I wish you well, but my boundaries remain. Simple, direct, complete. Alex texts that he's downstairs. Friends are gathering at the restaurant celebration for my promotion. I grab my jacket, leaving the office without checking emails one last time or worrying about weekend work. My financial cushion is comfortable now. My emergency fund is for actual emergencies, not family ones. As the elevator descends, I catch my reflection in the polished doors. There's a woman who stands straight, whose smile reaches her eyes, whose laughter comes easily. A woman who discovered that sometimes the most loving choice for everyone is to walk away. The doors open to the lobby where Alex waits, his face lighting up when he sees me. For the first time in my life, each step feels like my own.